executed DBMS. In this video, I will cover very important topic regarding the DBMS, that is query optimization. I am Jishan Seth, Assistant Professor in IT Department of LG Institute of Engineering and Technology. So exactly we are learning how the query processor is performing the task of query optimization in the part of introduction. In that, after that, I am discussing about the components of query optimization. So let's start with the introduction. So when the query processor is getting the query from the user, then after it process that query. So first is to convert that query into the equivalent algebraic query. That algebraic query will be determined from which particular site or from which particular table that query will be executed. So that query will be known as a fragment query. So fragment query is the input of our first query processor for the optimization. Then after it will processed, the output of that particular query optimization is based optimized query plan that helps to execute that query in the minimal cost, or it can be a optimized cost. So the purpose of query optimization is very simple. It takes the query from the user, process and give the best optimized query plan. With the help of this particular plan, our query will be executed with the minimal cost. So let's discuss or learn the particular diagram with the query optimization. So in given particular figure, we can see here our input query is given. Now this is the basic steps how the query is processed with the help of query processor. So in the first step, our query processor is performing search space generation step with the help of different transformation rules. Transformation rules is helping query processor to generate equivalent query. That equivalent query is giving the information that how many times the input query can be processed. We have number of options to execute that query. The same query will be executed by more than one time with the different steps. So we can consume that type of operation with the help of transformation rules. That is known as an equivalent query execution plan. Now we have number of execution plan. From that, how can we choose the effective query execution plan? That will be decided by the search strategy. Now with the help of cost model, the search strategy will define the particular query execution plan will execute for the final execution, and that will our best query execution plan. So ultimately we can say that our query processor is taking the input as a fragment query and give the best query execution plan. Now let's discuss all these steps one by one. So when we are talking about components of query optimization, that includes three steps: search space, search strategy and cost function. Now let's discuss first step, that is our search space. So when we are talking about search space, it defines the number of alternatives. First, when the query processor is getting the particular query from the user, it will generate the number of steps or number of alternatives for that given fragment query. So for that we have to concentrate on the number of joins of that query. How many joins are generated? Because we have to decide one limit, because in some scenario what happen for the simple query, if query processor is generating number of alternatives, then it will take more time to generate that alternatives. So it can be harmful for our processor throughput. So for that we have to decide how number of query alternatives are generated. Let's take this scenario with the help of one example. For our particular given data, we have to find the employee that will be involved in the particular project discussion. So for that, I am taking one example. That query will decide select employee number, responsibility from our table employee, ASD and project. The condition is that our employee number will be same for our employee, ASD and P number. For that, I am writing the condition where emp.e number is equal to asd.e number and asd.e number is equal to prv.p number. So for this given query, here we will decide the following three alternative trees. So which one be useful for our next plan, that will be decided by query processor. So how this search space will decide three alternatives? So it have three options. First, it will take employee number NASC and do the joining of that both the table and generate employee number. Now from that it will take the project table and generate the project number. This is our step number 1. The same way, it will take first project number and ASC table, and from that it will join the data and generate the P number. Now that output will be generated with the help of EMP and find the P number. That is our alternative 2. The third alternative is all about project and EMP table will produce one Cartesian product, and that Cartesian product will be multiplied with our ASC and generate E number and P number. So for the given query, particular query processor may generate this type of number of alternatives. Here only 3 possibilities are given. In the real time, as per the query requirement, number of alternatives can be generated. So which one will be useful? That will be a question here. But in this step, we can understand that search space will help our query processor to generate number of alternatives. So how many alternatives will be generated here? That is the big question. So if our relation is n, total relations are n, so according to this algorithm, we can find that the time complexity is O of n factorial. So it will be a very higher side. For that, we have to restrict that. So for the restriction, query processor will use different steps. So first step is our heuristic approach. So according to the heuristic approach, we have to perform only unary operation, and we have to always discard our Cartesian product, because Cartesian product will produce more number of data. So before performing binary operation, we have to use unary. After we are performing binary. So step by step we are performing our operation. Then we can consider that our number of alternative can be reduced. So heuristic approach is used to divide our particular alternatives into some constraint. Now second step is restriction of set of joint tree. Now according to the given structure of our tree, we have to decide that particular tree will be unique or if that tree is valid or not. So basically 2 types of joint tree will be used. First is linear joint tree and second one is Bussy tree. So if we are talking about linear joint tree, so according to the shape of linear joint tree, we can say that each and every particular node having any number of child, that is known as a linear joint tree. But when we are talking about the Bussy joint tree, then each and every root having exactly 2 child nodes. So that is the constraint of particular Bussy joint tree. So when we are talking about particular linear joint tree and Bussy joint tree, we have to decide which one will be used and which one will be ignored. So consider only linear tree here and ignore Bussy tree there. According to this particular algorithm, our particular constraint will be reduced up to omega of n factorial here. Okay, so when we are talking about omega of n factorial, it will be reduced by linear joint tree up to the O of 2n. So it will be a reduced many alternatives as per our requirement. So ultimately, if we are talking about search space, so search space will be used for finding the number of alternatives. That alternatives is used by particular our projection operators. Different projection operators is produce number of alternatives. If alternatives is increased widely, then we have to reduce that. For reducing, we have to use heuristic or shape of joint tree. According to that particular step, we are at the final of search space, we are finding the number of alternatives. Now which alternative will be useful or which alternative plan will be useful, that will be decided by the second step. That step is all about search strategy. So let's learn how the search strategy will be useful. So search strategy is about how to move in search space. So how exactly search space will be executed by query processor, that will be a part of search strategy. So there are 2 types of search strategy, deterministic and randomized. So when we are talking about deterministic, it is used dynamic programming method and it will be considered as a greedy. And when we are talking about randomize, then it is randomly take this data according to the neighbor data. So let's learn that deterministic approach first. So when we are talking about deterministic approach, then each and every level of the tree will be determined first. So for example, in this given tree, R1 and R2 will be executed with the best query execution plan. So when we are talking about deterministic approach, then each and every level of our tree will be executed with the base plan. So here first level is executed with the base plan. Now then in the second step, already first step will be executed with the base plan. The second step will be executed with its base plan. So ultimately when the building is built here, each and every step, or we can say that each and every floor is executed with its base plan. So ultimately when we are finding our final result of tree, it will be treated as a best query execution plan. But when we can use this type of tree, or when we are using this type of methodology, so when the number of trees or number of relations are limited and predefined, at that time we can use this approach, because every time we have to choose best plan for execution. So it is runtime cannot be possible to execute for that our query processor. So when our database query is static or predefined, at that time we can use this methodology. Second one is randomize. So when we are talking about randomize, then it will use any methodology for conversion our data. Then after it will check from its neighbor or its statistics of the past. And from that it will learn and try to produce the best execution plan. So this is the basic idea of randomize. So with the help of search strategy, we can use randomize or deterministic as per the requirement of the query. Now finally, how the exactly cost will be executed, that will be used by our cost function. So how the cost will be used, that will be a motto of our cost function. So cost will be used in the terms of time. That time will be total time and response time. So when we are talking about total time, it optimizes the utilization of the resources, as well as it reduces the each cost in the terms of time as well as component individually. So here we have to compare each and every component which are the part of our execution of the given query, that will be considered as a total time. When we are talking about response time, so response time is do as many things as possible in parallel. If I want to convert my query processor fastly, then multiple query can be simultaneously worked. So it may increase the total time because it increase the total activity, but when we are talking about the response time, so overall response time will be reduced. So this is two factor will be affecting basically for our query processor. Now how exactly cost will be calculated, let's learn one by one. So our first cost is our total cost. So total cost will be addition of our CPU cost plus IO cost plus communication cost. So when we are performing the costing of all three, then it will be known as a total cost. Now second one is our CPU cost. So CPU cost will be our unit instruction per cost for n multiplication of number of instructions. So for executing particular instruction, how the particular CPU will be evaluate that processor, that will be our CPU cost. And last one is our IO cost. So IO cost will be our unit of disk IO cost multiplied by number of disk IO. So for performing IO operation, how many IO devices will be executed parallelly, that will be a part of our IO cost. So when we are talking about cost, that will be your communication cost will be your message initiation plus transmission, that will be your final communication cost. So this is the basic fundamental how cost will be calculated for the purpose of query processor. So when we are talking about query optimization, then search space will give the number of alternatives. That alternatives give the particular basic query execution plan. For after that we are applying search strategy with the help of cost function, and that will give the minimal or optimal cost for execution of that particular query. So this is the basic idea how we are performing the query optimization basically in our query. In next video, I will discuss about the algorithms that will be applied for this process. Thank you for watching this video.